Hey everyone, this is Mr. Dan from Touch Technologies. Today we're going to be talking about Sheerpower once again, and this time we're going to be talking about clusters. A cluster for Sheerpower is basically a set of variables, and they belong to a group. In this case, this is a cluster called student, as you can see right here. It has an ID, a name, and a GPA. And the way you reference the variables in it is you say student ID equals some value, student name equals some value, student GPA equals some value. In this case it says print GPA of, and then the student, their name, and the student GPA. So a cluster, a simple cluster, is a really nice way to package up a set of variables that are all related to each other. Now in addition to these simple clusters, we also have cluster arrays. And cluster arrays are super nifty. A cluster array is kind of like a simple cluster, except it has one or more rows of cluster data. You can kind of think of it like a spreadsheet or a database table where every variable in the cluster is like a column header in the spreadsheet, or a field like in a database table. So again, fairly simple. We're going to do one here with meal. Cluster meal, there's going to be a type of meal. What are the proteins? What are the carbs? What are the calories? What distinguishes a cluster array from a simple cluster is there's an add cluster statement that adds a new row to the cluster, where simple clusters don't have rows. So let's add our first row. Add cluster meal. See, meal type equal breakfast. The proteins are eggs and bacon. Carbs, milk, toast. Gotta have your sugar. So there's my sugar. And get myself a bunch of calories. All right, how about a second row? Add cluster meal once again. The type is lunch. This time I'm having tuna and peanuts. Interesting combination. And soda pop, can't be without that. And fries, and that's even more calories. Let's take a look at that. I'm actually running. Here we go. Here's our cluster, meal, type, proteins, carbs, calories. Add cluster meal, as you can see the very same code right here that we just looked at. And the very same code right here. Okay? Now we're going to look at accessing that data. So let's go do that. To access cluster data, we use a collect and end collect, which you'll see right here. This collects the rows of interest because, again, a cluster array can have, hundreds or thousands or millions of rows of data. In this case, we're going to get all of the rows. We could have put inside this collect cluster meal and collect, we could have put inside here include statements and exclude statements and sort statements. So there's all kinds of stuff that goes in here. We'll talk about all those things later. After we've collected the cluster rows, we can then iterate through them using this for each statement right here. For each. And this goes through each of the different rows. In our case, we just have two, so it's not a big deal. While we're in here, we're going to add up the total meals and the total calories. If you remember from our previous talks on here, total meals is a real, total calories is a real as well. So anyway, we're going to use the total number of meals and calories to calculate an average. Here we go, total meals, total calories. We reset these to 0. We iterate through each of the rows. We print out the meal type, the proteins, the carbs, and the calories. We add up the calories up here. We added up the total meals. At the very end, we calculate the average calories, and then we print out the total meals, average calories, right here. And let's take a look and see how that code works. And we'll just scroll down here a little bit. Accessing cluster arrays, same thing. See, collect and collect, total meals, add to the meals, print out the information, accumulate the calories, calculate average calories right here, print the result, run the program, and here we go. Breakfast, eggs and bacon, milk, toast, sugar, 1,100 calories. Lunch, tuna, peanuts, soda pop, fries, 1,250. 2 meals, average calories, 1,175. And that concludes this tutorial. Thank you.